Guys and ladies, I'm Julia, do the night show on AMP Radio. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and let's just wake up a little bit. Who's excited it's Friday, be honest? Me too, me too. This is the 5th annual Stand4Change Day, so we're really excited to have you here. It's all brought to you by Defeat the Label, which is an anti-bullying nonprofit organization. It was started in West Bloomfield in 2011 by its founders, Jeff and Kevin, who are here to talk to you a little bit about it today. So give it up for them.
I'm here today and I'm extremely proud that Kevin and I had an idea a little over 5 years ago to combat bullying because our generation experienced it, but it didn't really experience it the same way you guys do with social media. And I believe that every child and every student should have the ability and go to school safe, learn, and be what they want to be in the greatest country in the world. And in the advent of what's going on with just injustices going on in the world, let alone in our own backyard, it's just flat out wrong. So we took it upon ourselves to try to put a day together, and our goal was 1 million students. Today we have over 5.2 million students, and today you guys are the capital of what we're doing all around the world here at Walled Lake Northern. To be able to do that, you have to work with a lot of people. And I'm proud to say we work with the teachers' unions nationally. We work with parents. We work with psychologists. We work with law enforcement. We work with celebrities. We work with athletes. And most of all, we work with you guys, because it's only you guys that can make the difference. Really only you guys. So, you know, there's so many great causes out there, so many great charities. And when I talk, I'm always proud to say that our charity, unlike most charities, we have a cure. Our cure is really simple. It's common decency. It's really do unto others as others do unto you. Treat people with respect. Frankly, I think it's quite simple. But yet, for some reason, some people just don't practice it every single day. So Kevin, my partner here, is the quiet guy. I'm the one with the big mouth. So I'd like to take it, you guys, and ask you guys just to wake up every day. Everybody has a good day, everybody has a bad day. But just try to treat each other with respect. You'd be surprised what a difference it makes. Just one person can make a huge difference. I think some people think doing something like this is hokey. I think some people think, you know, I'll get out of school for an hour. But we get emails on a daily basis of students that are thinking about killing themselves, dropping out of school, of not wanting to do anything, stay home, lock the door, don't tell their parents, don't tell their friends. I think it's awful. I think it's pretty sad. So take it upon yourself to help somebody if they need it. Listen, and just flat out treat people with respect. So the next person I'm going to introduce is one of my personal heroes, and hopefully he's one of your personal heroes, a gentleman here named Ken Gutman. If you know anything about Ken Gutman, the smile never comes off his face. So either he's a good actor or he's happy every day. I'm not sure which one it is, or everything in between. I met Ken at the West Bloomfield Police Station. No, neither one of us were in trouble or anything. But it was a group, a coalition coming together for students. And I spoke, and Ken was the first superintendent of a school to call me up, I think within 30 minutes after, say, Jeff, what do I got to do? And ever since then, I call him. The answer is always yes. What do I got to do to help kids? And we always talk about all the things going on in the world. We always talk, it's about the kids. It's about the students. All the stuff you hear out there, for us, it's about you guys reaching your full potential. I'm here to tell you today, this man coming up here was the superintendent of the year in a 5-county area. You guys are so blessed to have him. This is a magnificent school. And the unsung heroes for you guys are your teachers. Give them a round of applause. And your parents. You have people that wake up every day that care about you. And for that, you truly are blessed. So without further ado, I'm going to just the greatest superintendent till I go to the next school, Ken Gutman.
I want to thank Jeff Sackwood, Kevin Goldman, Defeat the Label. These are two gentlemen for whom I have tremendous respect. I know them personally and professionally. They're here for Walled Lake Schools. They're here for you. I'd like to thank AMP Radio. Mr. Diamond, Walled Lake Northern staff, and of course you for taking this seriously today. It's a real issue, isn't it? You have a right to live and a right to learn without bullying and without fear. You deserve to feel safe here at school, you deserve to feel safe online, and you deserve to feel safe in the community. You know, Abraham Maslow talks about the need to feel safe before you can ever accomplish anything. Look up his hierarchy of needs and you'll see that, and you'll see it to be true. I want you to know, as a school district, we take this very seriously. We've added security measures to our schools. We're deeply supportive of social justice. But if we're going to help you and we're going to help you feel safe, you have to do your part as well. And that means you, individually and collectively, need to stand up for change. And that begins right here today. Thank you.
The next person I'm about to introduce is the tallest guy in the building. And I'm a huge sports guy. And I had the pleasure of everybody, raise your hand if you heard of the Bad Boys back in the day. The Bad Boys, right? So I had the pleasure of, those guys are my generation, of knowing those guys and going to literally every single home game. We won the championship. What I learned about those guys is something very simple, that those guys all come from different backgrounds, and those guys all have one goal, is to go win games. And when they're off the court, they don't necessarily get along, but they respected each other, and they had the one common goal of beating the other team to, back-to-back world championships. Earl wasn't on either one of those teams, but he did win 2 world championships. But oftentimes, we know we got athletes involved in our cause, and people don't understand, yes, athletes get bullied too. Celebrities get bullied too. So a lot of times when I talk to students and kids, I say, go online, Google when you go home, celebrities who've been bullied. It'll take you about 90 days to get through it. You'd be amazed, almost every single one of them. When you're the tallest kid in your class, people think you're older than you are, and they think you're dumb because you're in another class. You'd be surprised. You'd be real surprised what an epidemic this truly is. So this next person I'm introduced is also a friend. He's also a parent in a school district. He's also a guy that bleeds for students and children. He works for the Pistons. He talks to students all the time. I've known him since I've been about 24 years old. He used to shoot free throws, and I talked to him. He actually answered my questions when he's shooting free throws, believe it or not, but they didn't go real well. But Earl has a daughter that goes to Walled Lake Schools who's an excellent student, and he's just a dad that cares, and a person who wanted to come out here today to talk to you guys and goes to many other schools. And if you ever see him around town because he lives in your neighborhood, walk up to him. He's very approachable, and talk to him about life. He's got a lot of answers and a lot of things he doesn't want to talk about. Earl went back to school in his 50s and got his college education because he made a promise to his mother. I have that picture on my phone with his cap and gown. He sent that to me, and I actually did cry because that's the kind of person that he is. He kept his promise to his mother, who's is mom in her 90s now? 99 years old. So think about that, you guys. I want to welcome my friend, Earl Curitan.
First of all, I'd like to just say that Walled Lake School District is probably the greatest thing in the world for me. My daughter's had an opportunity. She attends Western, and I'd just like for you to give yourself a hand for just being in such a great school district. I honestly think that Defeat the Label is just a great idea. It's when Jeff came up with it, and we talk, we're good friends, we're on the phone back and forth all the time talking about it. He's a guy that just genuinely care for kids and care about what's going on in the community. He's always open to try to help, and him putting this program together is probably one of the greatest things that ever could have happened. And we talk all the time, and we were in the car one day, and I wanted to share some of my experiences with him. We were talking about being bullied. Coming up. Right now I'm standing 6'9", I weigh 270 pounds, and you probably say, well, God, that guy probably never happened to him. No, but it did. It happened to me when I was a kid. It happened to me when I was in middle school. When I was in middle school, I had a kid, and to show you the kind of effect that it has on you, it stays with you for the rest of your life. I mean, I was a 6th grader, but to this day, I remember Andre McGee. Because Andre McGee was a kid that was taking my money for like 2 months, taking my lunch money, taking my food away from me, and bullying me. And I was afraid. I was afraid to say anything to my parents. I didn't want to go home and tell my mother what was happening to me. I didn't want to share that with her. I really didn't know what to do. I didn't want to talk about it to nobody. So I went 2 months in a row just giving this guy my money every single day. And he would come up to me, and he had a little scar up over his eye, and he'd growl at me and ball his fist up and say, "Give me your money." And I would just reach in my pocket and give it to him. And he intimidated me. So finally, one day, I made up my mind that I was going to take a stand. I was nervous and I was scared, but I made up my mind that I'm not going to do this anymore. Before the bell rang, I went to the front door and I waited outside for him to come out. And when he came out, I just confronted him and told him that it wasn't going to happen anymore. I stood up to him and let him know that he wasn't going to do this to me anymore. And come to find out that this guy, he really wasn't tough. He was a coward. And most guys that do this and try to intimidate you and try to bully you are cowards. From that day on, I never had a problem out of him again, just for the simple fact that I confronted him about it. But I guess the most important message I can give you all, this bullying situation is not just an individual problem. You're responsible for each other, in the school. If you see somebody being bullied or something happen to somebody and you don't do anything about it, then you're just as bad as the bully. You should stand up and help people, because we all are different. We all got different traits. We all look different. But at the same time, we're all human beings. And we all deserve to be treated right and be treated fair. And you guys need to get each other's back. If you see it happen, you need to report it. If it's happening to you, you can't be scared. You got to let people know right away. You got to go talk to your parents or go to your principals and let people know what's going on. And it's even worse now because we got social media now. A lot of kids are being bullied through social media. They're going out doing it, putting things online, inappropriate things. And like Jeff says, it's a suicide rate out here, and it's a serious problem, all over the world right now. And that's why I think this program is so important to be going on right now. And I think all of you together should bond together and make sure that nobody in your school this should happen to. And if you do that, if everybody take that responsibility to do that, to step up, then we can put a stop to this. It's not going to all happen in one day. It's not going to all happen in one night, but you can do it. And that experience with me from the 6th grade took me all the way through the NBA. And I never told Jeff, when I first got to Philadelphia, one of my good close friends now is Daryl Dawkins. He passed away last summer. And Daryl Dawkins was an 18-year-old kid that came into the NBA that was 6'11" and 280-something pounds. And that's who I had to go up against every day in practice. So I was a little nervous when I got to Philadelphia, but I never bagged down for him. He tried to intimidate me. That's how we became best friends, because I stood up to him when he tried to intimidate me. So you'd be surprised what can happen when you stand up for yourself and let people know. So I just wanted to pass that message on, and this is a great day right here, and I'm happy to be here. And I hope you all listen to what I'm telling you and follow those guidelines. Thank you for having me.
Next person is going to be a very brief introduction because he has so much to tell you, and he's one of the most compelling speakers I've heard in my entire life. It's a person who's dedicating his life to this cause along with his wife. So he's my friend. He's from Lansing, Michigan. I'm let him tell you everything that he's done, still does on a daily basis. My friend, hopefully he'll be your friend after today. His name is Kevin Epling. His wife's standing somewhere around the corner, Tammy, because truly nobody ever does anything by themselves. You always got to have help. So Kevin, come on up here and speak to these great kids. Thank you.
Good morning. I know we've done that 3 times already. Okay. It is phenomenal to be here. And I love hooking up with Jeff and everybody that he brings to these events, even though our last speaker kind of took half my material from me. But that's what it is. We have to keep talking about this. We have to share this experience. This is about everyone coming together. That's why AMP is here. That's why Defeat the Label here. That's why I'm here. And you. The most important people who can make an impact and change what we call bullying and peer-to-peer abuse is sitting in these seats. And when I go out and I talk about a hero will rise, and I look out and I don't see just students, I see heroes in this school. I see heroes who are going to do something for somebody else. And when you stop and think that when Jeff had this crazy idea that we're going to start Defeat the Label, and we're going to get people together and they're going to all stand for change on one single day. But the thing is, we started, we didn't know where it was going to go. and you being the center point of what we're doing globally today. Over 5 million students have signed up to make a stand for change today. That's amazing, where we started from a couple thousand to over 5 million. And I'm so proud of all the students who are doing it, but the other piece about this, it's also sad that we have to have so many to stand up against something that's been going on for so long. Bullying is nothing new, right? It's been going on forever. Everyone has a story. You shared your story. Every single one of us has a story. I'll give you a homework assignment. Go home tonight and ask your mom or dad, your aunt, your uncle, if they remember the school bully. You'll get a story. You will get a story for them about that experience. It's different. It's changed. It's not the same as when they went to school. As you pointed out, you have technology. You live in a 24/7 society. You are constantly seeing things that are hurting other people. When we talk about bullying, we can all have a different description and idea in our head of what that is. It's not pushing and shoving anymore. It's much deeper. It's much more emotional. And that's what really hurts people. What we think is fun for ourselves, making fun of somebody else, is not fun for the person on the receiving end. And you have to, as I said, be honest about this issue. How many of you guys have really kind of seen bullying going on around you, to be honest? How many of you guys have seen it online, more or less? You've seen the text. You've shared those texts. To me, bullying isn't just a definition. It is really, it's an intentional act. It's an intentional act. You're thinking about it to cause someone pain or consequence. So think about that. You're intentionally going out of your way to cause pain and consequence to somebody else. And if you want to be really honest now, how many of you now, think about that, have probably been a bully to somebody else? It's okay. So you have to be honest about this when you raise your hands, because we've done it in so many different ways. But you guys make the change. And I'll tell you what, you have an awesome school here. I just met Mr. Lindsay. I have an awesome man crush on him already. Because let me tell you, I've been doing this for almost 14 years now. This is one of the few schools that I have walked into and your superintendent and administrator have said, we have a 5-year plan to talk about this issue and to really change the culture. And that's what I've been telling people, because in 2005, when I said to people, we have to bring the students in, they are the ones who are going to change things, I was pretty much laughed at. Kind of like when Jeff said he's going to start this other thing. Because for everyone, you have to have that idea, what if? In my real life, I'm a video producer. I have to ask what if every single day. What if I do this? What if I do that? How can I create a different program? You have to start asking yourselves that. What if I help somebody? What if I didn't say this? What if I chose to sit with somebody else? You make that choice. When you make that solid choice, that breeds empathy. Empathy for that other person. You're helping them. We need more empathy back in our school. Every school. And you have the ability, and you have so much here already set in place that it's going to be so easy for you to keep moving forward. And sometimes a lot of students don't think this is real. It doesn't happen here. It doesn't affect me. And I can tell you, I was the same type of person. I didn't think a big thing about it. Let me tell you a story about a student. His name was Matt. He was 14 years old. He was a middle school student, 7th and 8th grade. He was very popular among his classmates. He wrote poetry. He wrote short stories. He was also a BMX biker, aggressive skater, learning to play the guitar. He was one of those kids other kids looked up to in his school. Last day of 8th grade, the upperclassmen at the school decided to go out and make fun and harm, really, the incoming freshmen. And Matt was targeted. Not because he was a geek, not because he was a nerd, anything like that, because he was actually popular. And I think that the kids at the higher grade, they could make an example of Matt. They'd show everybody else who's in charge. Because that's what bullying is. Bullying is a power dynamic. Someone has to have power and control over someone else. So they asked Matt to go to the park. They lured him out of the house. Around the corner, 3 upperclassmen jumped Matt. They smashed eggs on him. They poured syrup on him. Told him high school was going to be hell for him. And don't tell anybody, because if you tell anybody, we're going to come back, do this again, and we'll kill your dog. This was an assault and battery. Unfortunately, 40 days later, from that assault, the night before Matt was to go to talk with police, Matt took his own life. Because of a situation that was so much fun for those upperclassmen and put him into his own well of pain. Why is it so serious, and why have I been doing this, and why do I partner with OK to Say, Defeat the Label in places everywhere? Because it's real. Matthew was Tammy and I's son. That's why we talk about this. It's why this is so important. And you may notice by the Batman tie, in a way, I kind of live that life. I have a second, my other main life is I'm a video producer. My other life, I do this, and I talk to students. And I go to school, and we make change. Because I made a choice. You have to make a choice to do something. Our daughter found a quote after Matt passed away. And it said, "To the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world." And from a parent who has lost a piece of his world, I want to reiterate to you that you are the world to someone else. You're the world to a family member. You are the world to your teachers. You're the world to your friends. And if there's anything that reaches out to you that you feel like you're not getting through to somebody else, or people are pushing pressure on you, reach out. There are so many hands that will reach back and help you. And I've seen it happen at so many schools. When the students like you get engaged, things change rapidly in a school. You have to remember, students, you guys cause 90% of the problems. You know, interpersonal problems. You can change your own behavior, but it takes time. And you'll be amazed at how good you actually feel when you have that empathy to help somebody else. You'll be amazed how you can change. And you change that someone else's life, because you don't know. Opening that door for someone can be the best thing they've had happen to them all week. Because all of us have things we're going through that nobody else knows about. Allowing that person to sit next to you on the bus could change their day, could change their week. It does make a difference. So one of the things that I brought with me, and I'm going to leave, are some wristbands. And here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to leave these with the school, and they'll decide how they're going to, Mr. Lindsay and your principal will decide where you need to get them from. If you take a band that says to me that you're willing to help make a change within the school, and you're going to go out of your way, and when you see somebody in need and you're going to help them, if you have a band, give them that band. Pay it forward. And it should be going through. There's not enough bands for everybody. So you'll be able to spot these as they kind of move through the school. And on that point, you should be asking each other, hey, what did you do to get that band? Who did you help? What happened? And that's the same thing also with teachers. You should be asking the students if you have a band. Teachers are also included in this. For all you students, your teacher does something for you, hand it off to them. I did this at a school, and I stayed after for an extra hour, and I sat and I watched the bands being traded among teachers and students at the lunch hour. Again, it goes back, you'd be amazed how good you feel about helping somebody else. That's what we do. We are going to change this idea that bullying is normal, it's to be tolerated, we've sanctioned it for years. We are making a change. And I'm so happy to partner with Jeff and all the people here, all of you, because we cannot do it without the students. So it's amazing. You're part of 5 million strong globally. Don't let that fall on the wayside today. It's amazing. You guys have amazing staff. And for me, take a wristband and please think about being a hero in the hallway to somebody else, because somebody needs that. So today, please unleash that hero within and do something for somebody else and take that stand for change today. So I thank you, and let's make a change. I want to introduce to you people from the Attorney General's Office of the State of Michigan of a program that is out there, and I'm going to let my good friend Mary and her staff talk about this. Another program that was really created for you, the students of Michigan. And she'll tell you about this app and all these great things. So my good friend Mary, would you come on up here and fill everybody in about OK to Say?
Today is a really important day because you have made a conscious choice to stand up and do what is right. But we know that taking a public stand can be really difficult for some students. So I want to talk to you about a program called OK to Say. OK to Say is a confidential way for you to do what is right and submit a tip about something that you see maybe that's going on in your school. Maybe somebody is being abused by their peers. Maybe somebody is thinking about harming themselves. Maybe somebody is thinking about bringing a weapon to school. Here is a confidential way for you to be able to report anything, absolutely anything that threatens your safety or the safety of another. And here's the beauty about this program. Your identity is confidential. You don't have to be worried that you're going to be labeled a snitch, a narc, or a rat, because it remains confidential. OK to Say operates as an early warning sign and lets us know how we can stop tragedies before they start. In the first 21 months, we've received over 4,100 tips. OK to Say has stopped peer mistreatment, saved lives of kids who have thought to die by suicide, prevented school tragedies, and provided support for students who are just struggling. Imagine that. All this heartache was avoided because just one student, made the choice to submit a tip, that's all. And it didn't cost them anything. The success of this program is due to the thousands of kids who have the courage to be that hero in the hallway and do what is right. So I'm asking each one of you today to take out your phones and download the OK to Say mobile app. That's one thing that you can do so that if you see something, you can say something. How many are willing to do that? Raise your hand. Are you willing to join us and do what's right? Thank you. What we want to do is give you the tools to do what is right. And so we're going to give you some ways to remember how you can do that. We're just going to give you a silicone wallet that you stick on the back of your phone to remind you how you can help make a difference. So on behalf of OK to Say, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate your leadership, and I appreciate the opportunity, Jeff and Kevin, to be a part of today's rally. And I appreciate all of you who are going to make a commitment to be those heroes in the hallway. So thank you very much.
And I think one really important way to seal in everything we learned today is by doing a pledge all together. So if everyone could stand up, it's short, I promise, and we can do this all together. I will not allow social labels to define others or myself. I will take a stand against bullying in my school. Starting today, I will stand up and defeat the label. Thank you guys so much for taking a stand against bullying. You can give it up for yourself right now.
Thank you so much for participating in our 5th annual Stand for Change Day. I know we're here together doing this, but there's 5.2 million students throughout the world that are participating in activities just like this today. So you're a part of a huge thing. I just wanted to come up here and thank again all of our wonderful Defeat the Label supporters for being here. I wanted to thank our President and Vice President, I guess you can call them, of Defeat the Label, Jeff Sakwa and Kevin Goldman. Give them a hand. I also wanted to thank Earl for being here, our former Piston. Awesome supporter. And in case you guys missed them, they're over there in the corner. We have 2 representatives of the Pistons dance team for you to see. So they'll be hanging around here as you guys are leaving. I also wanted to thank OK to Say for coming out and joining us today. We really appreciate that. And I especially wanted to thank Kevin and Tammy Epling for coming out all the way from Lansing to share their story with us. You can probably imagine that those are not the easiest things to talk to students about, so the fact that they have the courage to come up here and share their story with you really means a lot to us, and I think it means a lot to the students as well, so thank you. All right, I am going to pass this over to Mr. Lindsay. He's going to close out the assembly.
All right, guys, great job today. I can't thank you enough for your cooperation and your behavior. Teachers, thank you for taking time out of your second hour class to bring your students down today. We really appreciate that. You know, that pledge that you just took, I really, really hope you take that to heart and really think about being making a difference and being part of that change.